Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Christy here to do the extended monthly forecast general reading. This is for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I hope that you enjoyed March's extended monthly reading as well as your mid-month check-in. I appreciate everyone who has stuck with me all this time for the changes. We went from weekly to monthly forecasts and then bi-weekly. So I really hope that you're enjoying these. I certainly appreciate being able to spread them out. It helps with my schedule. I hope everyone is doing excellently when you're watching this. And again, we're looking at a general reading for Leo for the month of April 2018. So I'm going to switch things up a little bit from last month. I'm going to be using a 7-card horseshoe spread today. And then we'll be using the bottom of the deck card for general energy for your reading. And then as always, we'll have jumper cards from each of the 4 oracle decks here for additional messages for your sign for the month. So what does Leo need to know for April 2018? Leo, April 2018. If I didn't already mention, this is a general reading, so whatever is most prominent in your environment for the month of April, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to, and I hope that you find them helpful and healing. And of course, it's for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So we're just getting to the end of our shuffling here. I'll be splitting the deck in half and then laying your cards out for you. All right, Leo, so at the bottom of the deck for you is the 9 of Fire, or the 9 of Wands. This is really feeling perhaps a little burdened with something that you had taken on, something that perhaps you were passionate about, perhaps it's burning you out a little bit, but you're almost at the end of something here. It's at the end of this element before we turn into Knights and Kings and Queens here. So it's probably something that you took upon yourself and you're just at the very end of something here. A job or a perhaps it's a school course or graduating, that type of thing. But there's a lot of pressure on as well. But again, it's nothing that you wouldn't have accepted, but it's something that you have to carry through here to the next level. So it's going to feel really wonderful when this weight is lifted off your shoulders, for example. In the original deck, it's the 9 of Wands. And it's just feeling a little bit weighed down here, but there is an end in sight. During this time, it might feel like you're so rushed that you can't sort of make decisions about how to switch things up either, so you might feel stuck with something. But again, rest assured that it is positive that you would have followed through with whatever you have begun here. You can always start something over, or you can start something fresh after this is complete, by the way. But try to follow through with this and recognize that you did take it on and that the end is in sight. I will leave that be. Let's get your horseshoe spread cards out. All right, so it looks like typically it's just going to be a busy month for you. Probably going through the motions of something is what I'm getting just by sort of analyzing what's going on with the cards here. There's some smaller, we're looking at, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So everything's under 10. So things are still in motion. Things are still growing or developing here. There's no major arcana in your reading this month, so there's not a lot of potent energy that you can't get past, or that's going to create an environment where you don't have decision-making power here. It looks like there's a lot of decision-making power and outcome power in your hands here. And you can treat a general reading as an answer to some questions that you have, any pressing concerns, or you can treat it like a confirmation about how to move forward for the month. So in saying that, let's get into it. The 7 of Fire represents your past. Of course, this is the 7 of Wands. This is really standing up for yourself. This is being at an advantage with someone coming perhaps at you, or an idea or a notion, or even here is your underlying energy, like I said here. So it might feel like you're sort of being forced to forced to explain, right, why you've taken this on. Or I really get the feeling, I can't help it to get the feeling like, even if you're not a student, that this could look like a nature of study. So you're almost at the end of it here, but it's almost like now you have to defend it, right? You have to be comfortable and confident in defending what you had taken on, so that you can pass, so that you can get to the 10 here, get to the end of the road with what you had, originally taken on, and now you can complete it. So probably a level of defense here, but you're well equipped, right? You understand that you're well equipped here, and it does follow the present. Sorry, the present does follow the recent past, and of course this is victory. So a lot of behavior, right? This is all action, this is all passion orientated. We're looking at a lot of fire here, and there's actually another fire over here. So a lot of passionate energy, action, activity generated behavior here. We're not looking really at elements of the mind or even, the emotions right now. This is about fulfilling a project, it looks like. So your present is victory. So it looks like you will be able to defend your thesis, for example, or your ideology, or your state of being, or your decision making, as it were, very competently here. And you'll have people who are maybe applauding you, but a great deal of victory is what the present, at least in April, sort of promises you. So if there's any feeling of heaviness here, just rest assured that you do have it under control. You can follow through with this. Just take it step by step here. And your hidden influences is the Queen of Earth, or the Queen of Pentacles. And this is kind of getting your hands dirty, right? This is being willing to do the hard work. So this is also representing the tangible world, the 5 senses. So this is really perhaps you being changed personally, politically, in a property, in a tangible sense. It could be your home, it could be your job, it could be the way you actually touch and actualize things as well. Perhaps you had a plan and you've put it into motion, and now you're defending it and you feel successful with that. It's like, oh, okay, now I can follow through with implementing what I'd spent so long defending, or what I'd spent so long working toward here. Now it looks like the hidden influence says that an implementation awaits you. So this is actually a very successful card as well. Queen of Pentacles could also mean that you or someone you know has Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus in the first 5 planets of your chart. So perhaps if you're a Leo sun watching this and you have a Virgo moon, for example, this could be that these are your emotional development here would be actualized, okay? So depending on where the Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo sits in your chart in the first 5 planets, of course this includes your rising sign, this is where that's going to be affected. So you're going to basically rise above. You're going to be the queen of something that's been actualized here. So great deal of success for you. this month in April for you, Leo. In the position representing you is the Five of Air or the Five of Swords. All the fives just include a little bit of conflict, but I think this is really part and parcel of personal growth, including something that you've been working hard toward achieving here. I just don't think that any one of us, topic notwithstanding, can really go ahead and defend our thesis or our property or our position, as it were, without ruffling a few feathers. So this is actually really positive, believe it or not, that you're able to do this, because you're able to grow from this and you're able to find out, in my view, at least, any weak spots in your argument, in your thesis, in your plan, in your long range processes or prognosis here. It's almost like you have to cut away what isn't working for you, or cut away what is you know, superfluous, and just use what you need, just take what you need. So air is looking at a mental quality as well. So this is why I really feel like this is something that you are performing, but it sort of stems from an intellectual state of mind. So again, this is really positive that you're in a position to defend something here after perhaps cutting away something that doesn't work, or even getting into, I'm not going to call it a petty argument, I think it's going to be a useful, at least one useful argument, or a clash of the ideas, or a clash of, oh, the titans is what came to mind. Maybe you're up against somebody who has something to offer you and you need to whittle away the nonsense to get to the core of it, or vice versa. They have to do that with you. So that's what really this is representing this month for you. But again, I don't see this overwhelming or becoming an issue. I think it's going to be very, very positive that you're able to get away of what's extraneous and get to the core of the issue here. So again, this is probably going to take place with messaging, anything that has to do with the intellect, okay? So if it's not online, by text or over the phone, this is something that's going to happen between you and one other person. This is probably something that's going to be happening within, okay? Something that you are, you know, cutting through or slicing through to get to the heart of the matter here within your own mind. All the same, very, very positive. I think it's wonderful to get rid of things that aren't working for us, obviously. Here with the influence of others, this is a little bit of heartbreak. But it's also that which doesn't kill us makes us stronger here. It could be that you are feeling, or you could be feeling burdened or overwhelmed here, and you're looking around for some perspective. And the influence of others really is providing a great deal of perspective for you here. Could just be something as simple as really being intellectually attached to something here, for example. Yeah, it could be a passion or a concept or something that you'd worked hard on as well, something that was about to materialize, that you realize through an interaction with someone else, or maybe some feedback here, that you'd become attached to, and this happens to the best of us. Again, we're cutting away clutter, we're cutting away something that doesn't work here. So it's almost like, I think this is a natural process, right? The influence of the process of cutting away what doesn't work, maybe seeing through an idea that didn't hold water, and cutting those attachments to that, and then moving on, growing from that, because we do have higher numbers following this. I also do want to mention that you have 2 nines. Nine is a highly spiritual number. It really is. It is any derivative of 3, but of course 9 is a very, very powerful number here. So there could be a spiritual relevance here for you as well, if this does have to do in the world of spirit or esoteric or occult matters. Just want to throw that out there. So it could be that you were attached to something that you're being led away from here that wasn't working, or that you've decided or saw finally isn't working for you, but you're better off without, right? So I don't think there's going to be an enormous feeling of loss here. There could be a little bit of, if there's any heartache involved with that, it's almost like it's because of an attachment, right? It wasn't that it was actually doing anything for you, is that was creating an attachment that you're better off without. In the position, what you should do is the Four of Wands. This is actually a really lovely home, solid home, solid foundation, the beginnings of building something prosperous with at least one other person. Here we have your, fourth card in the element of fire and passion, desire, action, behavior that, that you can see that creates progress in your real world here. So yeah, I mean, it's almost like you were able to shed through something and now build something more positive here. And you might even feel more confident and comfortable here because you've gotten rid of, look, we've counted backwards here. So this is a really stable card. So I really feel that close to the end of the month here, you'll feel a lot more stable, a lot more secure with not only your notion or ideas or studies or habits or plans, jobs or even studies, as I mentioned here. It's almost like, oh, okay, I got through it and I feel more stable at the end of it just by letting something go here. More importantly, by willing to let something go that wasn't working for you, that you saw through here. So I think this is all a really important process for you because your final outcome is the Nine of Cups or the Nine of Water. And I hope you can see that she kind of has a treasure chest here. So, and the cups is water. Water is the cups rather, and of course this is our emotional world. This is our intuitive world, and this is also very, very romantic. So it could feel that you've risen above something here, sort of like a trial by fire in a way. If it's not with one other person, it's through your own studies or behavior or your own they call it like when you have ambitions, through your own ambitions, and you're feeling not only very happy and content and prosperous here, but now, and you can see it, but now you can feel it, and you feel really confident and prosperous at the end of this. So this is actually a really beautiful way to end the reading for you, Leo, that you feel very content within the heart, so much so that you can share with others. It's unique to the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is almost like being independently, for lack of a better term, wealthy. And this is almost like being independently resourceful, right? Within, that you can create this sense of having so much love or producing so much love and emotional depth and wellness that you can share with others, that you can appreciate and share with others. So just a beautiful way to end your reading for April, Leo. I'm just going to shuffle these oracle decks and get a card out from each of them for you for an additional message. Depending on what they're saying here, I may relate them to the spread that is before us, or we can read them as individual messages. So let's get these out and I'll show you one by one up to the camera here. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the reading, really nothing overarchingly heavy. I don't see anything heavy here for you. I really see that you're able to walk away from something, in fact, that isn't working for you, but more in the world of ideas, and it's going to actualize in the real world for you in a very stable sense. So it's, especially if it's something that you felt like you were intellectually or scholastically or even in a business sense or in a relationship sense, something that you were like, no, it's good, it's positive that we get away from this because this is something that needed to happen. It was a process that needed to happen to get to this really healthy outcome. And if there's anything in here that you see or heard that you didn't like I said, there's no major arcana energy, so I think there is an opportunity to go switch things up with the information that you've been given here. If you don't like the way the month turns out for you, or that you could be working through something in the way that's designed here, you do have an opportunity to switch things up. On the other hand, it is saying that there's process here that will benefit you if you do go through with it. But just trust, you know, you want to have faith that things are going to work out for the best by the end of the month for you. And of course, from the Romance Angels deck, we'll just get one card for you. And we'll look at relationship or creative project issues here with this deck. All right, so Guardian Angel is out of the Healing with the Angels Oracle. And this is really lovely. Just to remind yourself, especially in a tight spot or in a hard place where you feel like perhaps something's being taken from you or there's some level of rejection here, that it's actually very positive and it's working in your favor. So, and I think you'll see this by the end of the month. It'll be made very, very clear to you. So I think a major piece of advice in this card, for example, would be to not cling, right? If possible, we don't want to engage in clinging behavior, especially emotionally here. Something will be provided to you for a happy home. And this person or this energy will be very, very fulfilling for you and probably very calming as well. This is a very stable energy. It's remarkable because the 4, you would think that, you know, fire, it's like passionate and directive and action energy orientated. But the 4 in this suit is very stable. So you actually have a lot of stability here. So if you do feel out of sorts or that you need a little bit of advice or insight at this time, please call out to your guardian angel who is available to you. Or if you have an archangel that you are more attracted to calling into your life for assistance, you can certainly do that. But again, there is an element, anytime we're looking at the guardian angel card, there is an element of sadness here. So, you know, reach out for help. Perhaps you have a guardian angel that is living in the real world with you. It could be an animal, it could be a family member, it could be a best friend, okay? So reach out at this time if that's the case and stabilize yourself, support yourself at this time, okay? Don't let yourself down. Don't get bogged down in these 2 cards right here, for example, which are happening within the mind. This is a necessary process and you'll come out of it swimmingly here, okay? Here with Dragonfly, this is illusion. Yeah, I think, like I mentioned here, I think something is going to be sort of drawn and quartered here that maybe, I think you were expecting all of this and this maybe is a little bit unexpected, possibly. But again, it's just a level of perhaps an identity, right? Perhaps you identified with something here and it was like, it wasn't what you thought it was. Or, you know, once you cut away at the superfluous ideology or language or behavior, whatever it was, it's like you've gained a new perspective here. So I think you're able to see through an illusion here this month quite easily and recognize that if something is changing, it's for your benefit, and that if it was based in an illusion, you're better off without it, okay? Another way to read this as well is to say that you will be able to tell what it is. I don't think you're going to need, nothing is going to make itself as though you need to, you know, really think about it and figure it out, for example. I think it's just going to be really obvious to you what the issue is or what the theme is here that you need to move away from. So any sense of illusion here, unless it's in the dream world or unless you're, you know, planning on a creative future here, I would say, you know, steer away from this and consider it a roadblock. You know, you want to steer away from illusionment this month, Leo. Here with Observer, this is actually really lovely as well because, like I said, I just don't think that you're going to be shocked by any of this. I don't think it's going to be surprising, but I also don't think that you should have to go looking for it. I think it's going to make itself evident to you. So, you know, just keep your eyes peeled and your ears open this month. Don't go looking for trouble. Don't go looking for upset or arguments, as it were. You know, let them come. Make sure you're defending your position, but that if something is offered to you, that you're able to cut away with doesn't work anymore, and you're able to be honest about that, okay? And then finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So for anyone who is coupled, for example, this could be a job prospect that there could have felt like there was, or there could be at this time in April for you, some maybe growing pains right now. Maybe you or your partner is changing jobs, and there's a little bit of, maybe there are money differences or finance or income differences at this time. It could be that your education or schooling, whether this is in an institution or this is happening at home and you're doing this on your own, this is sort of, you're evolving through this. So this is actually really lovely, and I do see an end to this at the end of April for you, at least this phase of difficulty. For singles, you could be meeting someone in this environment, banking, finance, loans, investments, that type of thing right now. And then for creative projects, this is very interesting as well, because what I'm going to suggest here is that your love for the art or the creative process shouldn't be met with or matched with or even be sort of connected to what you can get from it. Now, if you are in a creative business and you are earning money from it already, then consider that to be a bonus to the gift that you're providing. But I really, in a creative venture, maybe keep them separate, because they're two different worlds, right? The creative process and then the process of mathematics, as it were, or numbers, right? Finance. So it's really just about, in this regard, in a creative prospect, saying your love for your art or the love for the creativity is healthier, or the creative output is healthier without the financial or the income or the monetary demands, okay? Try to treat them like they're two different worlds, because I think, and not necessarily always negatively, but I do think the financial component, if you're working on creative projects, may shadow or color the creative output here. And this could be the illusion as well. It's almost like I want to create something here and I can sort of make lots of money on it. And it could very well be that that's the case. But for your long range prospects, maybe keep that in mind. But while you're actually doing the creative work or the creative output, maybe treat them like they're two different worlds. So that is your extended monthly forecast for April 2018. I hope that you enjoyed that, Leo. You can look forward to your mid-month check-in. And until then, you take excellent care. And I will see you in a few weeks. Bye for now.